Hi, my name is Ann Farley. I'm the social worker and the director of community relations for Ohio Living Ganzhorn Suites. How do I know? How do I know when it's time? How do I know that I'm not able to do this at home anymore if my family member's living at home? I would say there are a couple of different answers to that. I would say that the first one that we talk about is safety. Safety of the person living with dementia. If they're living at home and they are wandering outside during the day, they're wandering outside at night. Sometimes they're not even wandering out of the house, but they're wandering into the garage. I would say that that is probably the biggest red flag is when they're doing that. Also, when they're trying to take the car, if the car is still in the garage and the family member is still trying to drive, that is a huge safety issue. So I would say that safety is the number one reason how a family knows that someone is ready for memory care. I would say the second one is probably boredom, loneliness, isolation, under stimulation of the person living with dementia. So imagine you are the primary caregiver for someone living with dementia and they are living in your home and their attention span is very short because that's what happens with the brain. It's incredibly difficult to keep them engaged in anything. It's incredibly difficult to keep them focused on anything, even a television show, uh, working on a puzzle, helping in the kitchen, helping with chores. And so what happens is that person living with dementia gets bored and they're understimulated. The caregiver can get frustrated and impatient, and the whole day can just kind of um, go belly up. I would say also one of the next things that we talk about a lot is the physical care of the person. If I am my husband's primary caregiver and I'm 95 years old and my husband is 96 and I weigh 100 pounds soaking wet and my husband is 6'4" and he falls or he needs help getting off of the toilet, I'm not able to do that. I can't get him up safely. I can injure myself. So the physical care aspect is huge for people that are primary caregivers. That is a really big red flag for families when they are trying to decide whether the time is right. I would also say that the incontinence issue can be a problem. So imagine that you are an adult son and your mom lives with you who has dementia and she now is not able to control her bladder or bowels, and so you now are the one that has to clean her up. You are the one now that has to shower her. That can be really uncomfortable from an adult son to a mother, from an adult daughter to a father, even spouse to spouse. If that's not something that's in your comfort wheelhouse, that can be really, really uncomfortable and disarming. And so that is a huge time when families start thinking about moving into memory care. So safety, boredom, incontinence, physical care, and I would say the fifth one is caregiver burnout. So when the primary caregiver gets burned out, they become even less effective as a caregiver, right? They're losing their patience more. They're getting frustrated more. They're yelling more. They are getting sick more often. They're getting injured more often, right? They are not seeing their friends anymore. They're not going to the gym anymore. They're not getting their spiritual needs met because they may not go to church anymore. So you can imagine all of that creates a huge bucket of burnout. And so I would say that that is probably an exhaustive list of things that people think about and need to consider when they are considering a memory care community for their loved one that's living with dementia.